All right, so we're in my studio today. So welcome to this really lovely space of mine. This is where all the Osiris work happens, and it is what inspired me to talk to you about today, about changes you can make when you're ordering things online, whether it's from suppliers or whether it's more personal things, that you can actually start to request not to have plastic or to have a plastic free and just see what happens and play with it. So how that started for me was my metal merchant company. A&E Metal Merchants are a great company. All of the metal I get from them is recycled sources. So they're the only one in Australia that I'm aware of that's completely recycled. They have really good energy efficiency programs and equipment and state-of-the-art everything. So they're pretty up there. But when they send me the metal, obviously to protect it from scratching, whatever, it comes in plastic sleeves and bags. And so when you're ordering little components, they will tend to have a little plastic bag for every single component. And I would amass these piles of these single-use plastic bags that I wasn't going to reuse because I had no need for them. And they also had their stickers and barcodes and things on them, so I couldn't even really do that much with them. So last time I had that big shipment, I used all of that plastic packaging to send them back some metal that needed refining, and I used it as padding and actually sent it back to them just to deal with it in some way. But I started to contemplate that and thought, okay, well, I don't want to be bringing plastic into the workplace, or I want to at least reduce it as much as possible. So when I put my last order in, I requested, could they not package the metal or the componentry in plastic? Could they maybe just get some newspaper or some sort of paper and wrap it all up in one big bundle? I didn't mind if it was all thrown in together. I would happily sort that out. And that would be preferable for me. And they came through with the goods. And what happened was everything was wrapped in paper. So that was really lovely because I, as the consumer, had put in the request of what I wanted and what I didn't want, and the company followed through. And I posted that on, I think, Facebook, and one of my students said, what a great idea, I'm going to do the same thing. And she orders from that company. And then somebody else I was talking to the other day, I was telling them that story, and they're going to do the same thing. So all of a sudden, this one company is going to have 3 people requesting plastic free. So you don't know what the knock-on effect of that is going to be. The instant effect is I don't have to deal with plastic, and I would prefer it if they use newspaper or recycled paper, but even this note paper is better than nothing, and it is recyclable. And so that was really exciting. And then because I had a positive outcome straight away and didn't have any resistance at all, I then decided to apply that to any online ordering. So now if I order, because I do a lot of online ordering, I live in a rural area and I don't actually enjoy trekking around and going to shops and that sort of thing. So now part of my practice is when I order something online from a company or from an individual like a maker or whatever, I'll just put a little note with the order saying I'm aiming to reduce the influx of single-use plastic and packaging into my workspace or into my home. Could you please not wrap the item in plastic when you send it to me? And so far so good. Everything that I have received has been plastic free. So that was something I wanted to share, and I feel like that's another one of those the more of things, and that if all of a sudden there's a lot of people that are requesting that, the suppliers of these items that we're ordering are going to have to look at that, and the awareness is going to start to shift to other forms of packaging solutions, which then ultimately can lead to packaging businesses having to change their packaging solutions from a plastics-based thing to something else, something that's more sustainable, more environmentally friendly. So that was the main thing, this little win, which I feel will go a long way, particularly with a company that is already environmentally conscious. I feel like they could actually take that into account quite quickly. The other thing is if somebody brings me something, someone's picked some lemons on their tree and they're going, hey, Kira, would you like some lemons? I'm like, thank you, that's so lovely. And they bring them to me in one of those little grey Coles bags. What I do is I go, just hang on 1 second, and I grab one of my cloth bags, because I have them everywhere, and I dump all of the things into my bag, and I give them back their plastic bag. So the onus is then on them to deal with that bag. It's even just the gesture of doing that at some level is going to stimulate a consideration of, oh, this person doesn't want to just unconsciously receive a plastic bag. Maybe I need to think about this. So that's something that I do because I don't want to have to deal with the bag. I'm working really hard not to have the bags, and I'm really grateful for the things that people give me, and that's really wonderful. But I'm not going to take the plastic bag as well, so I will give it back. If I'm asking someone to pick something up from me in town, from the chemist or whatever, I'll just mention, oh, could you make sure that you don't pop that in a bag? Just have it, throw it in your handbag or whatever. And then the third one along the same veins is going to fruit stalls and side stores where they might have bananas in bags, or 4 corn in a bag or something like that for $1. We have a lot of side stores here in the Northern River, so I'm dealing with things that I deal with in my life sort of movement. What I do there is I take the produce, put it into my reusable bag, and then I'll put the plastic bag back so it's not coming in. It's a really simple thing, but if you haven't actually thought it through, you might just grab it thinking, oh, well, it's already in a bag. You have the right to refuse. You have the right to actually go, actually, I don't want to bring that in, and that's fine. Leave the bag. They can then reuse it for another thing. It's going to last a little bit longer, and maybe down the track they'll go, oh, let's not do the plastic bag thing. Let's just say 4 for $1. And the person can pick out the 4. We don't actually need the bags. So that's pretty much the summary for today. And I'll catch you again soon. Bye-bye.